At the very beginning of this SICHAH, we introduced the Gur Aryeh, who interpreted Rashi as responding to a textual difficulty raised by the Pasuk. That difficulty was the fact that the statement Vayashuva vayalinu alav et kol ha'ida lahotzi diba al ha'aretz is not adding any new information regarding the Meraglim. 37 informs us of the fate of the Meraglim, that they died in a Magefa Lefnei Hashem, and therefore the statement of Vayashuva would be somewhat unnecessary. Gur Aryeh suggests in his reading of Rashi that we are forewarning an interpretation that would suggest that there was a second incitement by the Meraglim.
This reading of the Rashi by the Gur Aryeh, as we noted previously, is problematic on a number of accounts, and in particular the inclusion of information by Rashi into his commentary that is not germane to the issue at hand. Moreover, the textual problem of the Chumash still remains, because if the purpose of Rashi is to forewarn a second incitement, that need comes about only from the inclusion of Bamidbar 14:36 as a preamble to the decree of an immediate punishment to the 10 Meraglim. If that preamble has very little bearing on the information contained in Bamidbar 14:37, and the only reason for Rashi's commentary is to forewarn a misreading that there was an incitement number 2, the text could have left out Bamidbar 14:36, there'd be no reason to entertain the possibility of a second incitement, and hence there'd be no reason for Rashi to forewarn that possibility.
There is, however, a far more pressing problem with Pasuk 36, and that is that it contradicts information stated elsewhere in this perek, specifically the target of the complaints. Who was it exactly that the Meraglim and the people were targeting? In the decree segment of the narrative, where the subject is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God says, Ad matai la'ida hara hazot, asher hem malinim alai, upon me, against me. And in the same pasuk, Shamati, I have heard, et tlunat b'nei Yisrael, asher hem malinim alai. So clearly the target would be HaKadosh Baruch Hu in pasuk 27. Similarly, in the concluding pasuk of the decree segment, pasuk Lamed Hey 35, Ani Hashem dibarti, that this is what's going to happen l'chol ha'ida hara hazot, who have hanno adim alai, who have congregated, gathered together against me. When we contrast this to pasuk Lamed Vav, we have a very different scenario.
The subject of the pasuk is Anashim, referring to the 10 Meraglim, and attached to this subject is a parenthetical phrase, which Anashim, Asher Shalach Moshe Latur et Haaretz, Yashuvu v'yalinu alav et kol ha'eda. These are the people who Moshe had originally sent to scout the land, the ones who returned and who provoked the entire congregation, alav, against him. Him, referring to Moshe Rabbeinu, the individual identified in the parenthetical phrase, the Anashim Asher Shalach Moshe. And this, according to the Rebbe, is the second core difficulty that Rashi in his commentary addresses, and that is, from the standpoint of God, the provocation was against him. From the standpoint of the narrator, the provocation was against Moshe Rabbeinu's leadership. And the first, a theological issue, the second, a leadership issue.